here, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Writing Rituals tag, brought to you via a collaboration by Kim Chance and Mindy Lin. So I will link their information down below. There are 9 questions to this tag, so let's get started. Question number 1. When do you write? As in time of day and day of the week. I usually write whenever I feel like it, but if it's a weekday, it's probably going to be in the evenings, usually after dinner and spending some time with my husband. Then I'll go out and do my writing. And then on the weekends, Saturdays, I usually have the day off, but my husband works, so I'm home alone all day. So if I'm gonna do writing that day, it'll probably be in the morning or early afternoon. And Sundays and Mondays are also weekend days for us. So if I'm gonna do any writing on those days, it's really just whenever I feel like it. Question number 2. How do you seclude yourself from the outside world? I don't really. I actually really like to be a part of the outside world while I'm writing. I don't really like writing at home as much. I like to go out and be around people, but I do sort of need to seclude my mind, I guess, from the outside world to some degree. So I do that through listening to music. If I'm in a crowded place and people are talking around me, it's really hard for me to drown out those conversations. But with music, especially music that I've heard many times before, it's easy for me to just sort of tune that out into background noise. So yeah, I listen to music. I will say though, in general, I do not have a hard time at all secluding myself from the outside world. I've always been that way. As a kid, I was just always in my own world, in my head, and I'm still like that. I can just ignore everything and tune everything out really easily. Number 3, how do you review what you've written from the previous day? Well, I don't always do that unless I'm going to be writing a continuation of what I was just writing. Sometimes I jump around a lot, so if I'm writing one part of the story and then the next day I'm gonna write a completely different chapter, then I don't review what I wrote the previous day. But if I'm gonna be continuing that same part of the chapter, then I'll just kind of go back maybe to the beginning of what I wrote the previous day, or maybe just a few paragraphs, kind of refresh my memory of what's going on and what the tone is, and go from there. I don't really do like official editing until the end, or at least I try not to, because otherwise I just get too critical of myself and I just want to edit for forever. So I need to finish the first draft sometime. Question number 4. What song is your go-to when you're feeling uninspired? For me, this is very dependent on what I'm working on. So for my current work in progress, there are 2 songs that help inspire me. One is I've Got You Under My Skin by Frank Sinatra. That song kind of played an important role in the first novel. If you've read my book, Keep No Record, then you probably know what I'm talking about. So it kind of just gets me in that like romantic mood. And then the second one is a song called Careful by Michelle Featherstone, I believe. There's a scene in my current work in progress in which a girl is performing a song that she wrote, and it's described as being sort of romantic, but the lyrics are sad. Or no, sorry, the other way around. The lyrics are romantic, but the tone is sort of sad, and then that kind of sets the scene for an important conversation that the 2 sort of main characters have about her past, and some important things come out that I won't say right now because they're spoilers. But in searching around for songs that kind of fit that mood, I stumbled upon this song Careful by Michelle Featherstone, and it is perfection. It is like exactly, if I had like a movie version of my book, that would be the song I would want to be played during that scene. It's just really perfect. I love it. Question number 5. What do you always do when you find yourself struggling with writer's block? I would say the main thing that I always do is take a break. And when I say take a break, I don't mean like take 10 minutes. I mean like I take a few days or maybe a few weeks if the writer's block is really bad. I know a lot of people would disagree with that advice and would say that you need to push through, but that just doesn't really work for me. I'm pretty critical of myself in a lot of ways, especially when it comes to my writing. And when I'm blocked, I'm extra critical of everything I do. So if I try to push through and just keep writing, then I'm just like so in my head and I feel like everything I'm writing is terrible. So when I'm really blocked like that, I really just need to set it all aside and just completely ignore it until I can kind of come back with a fresh mind and not be so self-critical. Another thing that I always do when I'm blocked is talk to myself out loud, which this is something I do all the time anyway, even when I'm not blocked. But particularly when I'm feeling blocked, I sometimes will go for a drive or maybe do the dishes or something kind of mindless activity so I can just talk out loud to myself and work through some dialogue. Usually that helps me to get a better idea of what I want a scene to look like. Talking out loud I think is good because dialogue ends up being a lot more realistic. You know, sometimes people write dialogue in a story that's a little cheesy because they're not really thinking about the fact that no one would actually say that in real life in that way. Like, it's just kind of weird. But if you talk out loud to yourself, then it's kind of hard to end up writing something that sounds ridiculous and cheesy because you heard it out loud and you would notice that that sounds ridiculous and cheesy. So yeah, when I'm blocked, I like to talk to myself out loud, and particularly going for a drive really helps with that. So if you're driving beside me and you think I'm a crazy person, don't worry, I'm just a writer. Although those might just be the same thing. Oh well. Question number 6. What tools do you use when you're writing? Pretty much my laptop. I use Microsoft Word to write. I also use a flash drive very often because I am super paranoid about losing my work. Also because I write in public, I'm really paranoid about someone just coming up and stealing my computer from me. So I write and then I put what I wrote on a flash drive and I put the flash drive in my pocket. That way, if someone steals my bag from me that has my computer in it, I still have my flash drive in my pocket. I'm just like extra prepared. I also use sticky notes for my outlining and like a notebook, usually for jotting down little ideas or mostly for outlining. I also like to have a spot where I sort of can track my progress so that I feel like I'm actually accomplishing something. Question number 7. What's the one thing you can't live without during a writing session? I don't think there is any one thing. Well, I mean, obviously something to write with, like a computer or a notebook or something. But I'm sure that's not really what this question is going for. I don't think there's anything I can't live without, but it is really hard for me to write without music, especially if I am out of the house. If I'm at home, then I can write without music because it's nice and quiet. But if I'm out and I forgot to bring my headphones with me, that really sucks. I don't usually end up getting a whole lot done on those days. Question number 8. How do you fuel yourself during your writing sessions? I guess this would be another thing that I sort of can't live without, and that is snacks. Question number 9. How do you know when you're done writing? I'm assuming this means when you're done writing for the day. And I guess it's just a feeling to me. It usually happens around the 1 hour mark, or at the very most like the 2 hour mark is when I start to feel like just brain fog, like I am just so done with this and I don't want to do it anymore. So unfortunately I'm not one of those people who can just sit down and write for like hours and hours all day long. That would be freaking awesome. I would get so much done, but I just can't do it. My brain just does not want to be there for that long. So at the very least I'd have to take like a break for a couple hours and then come back and do maybe 1 or 2 more hours of writing. But even that I think would be kind of hard. There's just a certain time when my brain just feels like mush and I just can't do it anymore. So that is all the questions I have for this tag. So thank you to Kim and Mandy Lynn for creating this tag. It was super fun, and I guess now I have to tag people. I don't really know a lot of AuthorTubers yet, but there's a guy out there named Chris who's Scottish. Can't remember your YouTube name, but your name is Chris. And I want to know your writing rituals because you're a newbie too, and I'm sure you need some ideas for videos. So if you want to do this, do it and it'll be fun. I'm also going to tag TraciAnne, I think is her name, because she's new to this as well, and we just had a live stream together yesterday, or we joined Sarah Schwarnweber's live stream, and that was really fun, and I'd like to know more about you as well. So Chris and TraciAnne, if you guys want to do this tag, please do. Let me know in the comments if you do so. And to everyone else, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to hear more from me in the future, subscribe below. My first book, Keep No Record, is available now on Amazon. And if you read it now, you get to join all of the other people who are very impatiently waiting for me to get off my butt and finish the sequel. So that'll be fun. And that's all I have for you. So have a great day. Bye.